Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Thursday, May 15, 2025. Making headlines tonight, DPM responds to BMTU's notice of strike action. Two men arrested in connection with the murder of boat captain. And Thunderbolts make debut on Friday at home. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
Make light
sitsakan.
Welcome back with your news. I am Drea Espinosa. On Wednesday, the Belize National Teachers Union, BNTU, wrote to the leadership of the Ministry of Education to give their notice of strike action. Today, the Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Cordell Hyde, who is a member of the team of senior ministers who met with union leaders on Tuesday, today, told the media he was caught off guard by the notice.
Well, it caught us a little off guard, I think, because we had a very serious meeting, a very productive meeting, I thought, Tuesday evening that lasted for some hours. And we think we have a framework that is doable, that is, I think, fair and reasonable, as I said. But it's for us to, on the government side, it's for us to take it to the cabinet and get the cabinet approval for it. On the union side, it's for the leadership to go to their membership and get their membership to support it if they consider it to be a fair and reasonable deal. But so I was kind of surprised, but I understand that, you know, in some ways it's procedural. You know, school will close sometime there, but the union has a marching order, has a marching order to do certain things, and even though we feel like we have a framework, negotiations are not yet complete. We still have some work to do. We still have to go to Cabinet Tuesday. They still have to go to their membership after that Cabinet meeting, after we produce in writing for them a formal offer, a formal proposal. They still have to mull over that and deliberate and make a decision. So we still have some ways to go. So you can't take it personal that they've decided to continue procedurally what they're doing and to ensure that they have their ducks lined up, so to speak.
The teachers had responded to the PM's remarks that government salaries is already high, stating that many are essentially ghost workers. Honorable Hyde responded by saying he would rather not make the negotiations public.
I don't want the negotiations to take place in public. I don't want the back and forth to become the news, to become the thing that drives everything. I think when we sat down and went across the room, we went over these issues. We dealt with all the issues extensively and frankly, and in a really courteous but a really detailed and a really sober kind of way. And I think that at the end of those 4 hours plus of meeting, we came up with this framework that we think is workable. And so I think that, you know, it's very useful for us to delve into all the different issues that came up and all the different back and forth. It's have their arguments, and but at the end of the day, we have to find a solution that will work, a solution that will benefit everybody. Because ultimately, as I say all the time, we're a team. We have to be a team. It can't be that the government is going in one direction and the public officers and teachers is going in another direction. We don't have that luxury in a country this small. In a country with this strapped for cash, we have to find a way to work together. And the government will only have success if the public officers, if the teachers are on board. And it's similar for them. You know, they need for us to be on board. We need to be in sync. Our success is a shared one. Our interest is a shared one. So I think we have enough grounds for us to work it out somehow.
In police news, 2 Belize City men have been arrested in connection with the murder of San Pedro boat captain, 26-year-old Zenedine Panello, who was fatally shot last week on Hunters Lane in Belize City. The 2 men arrested are 28-year-old Dashay Williams and 19-year-old Kaylin McFoy. Police believe robbery was the motive. According to reports, Panello was lured to the area by a friend as he was looking to purchase a motorcycle. When they got to the area, 6 men were awaiting them. One of the men then allegedly pulled out a firearm and fired several shots at Panello. On May 10, the police detained 5 individuals, including 4 minors, a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 2 who are 13 years old. The group were detained at the corner of Administration Drive, better known as Complex Avenue, and Ordonez Street in Lake Independence, Belize City, where they were accused of assembling in a group of more than 3, which is prohibited under the current state of emergency. On Wednesday morning, the group appeared in front of Chief Magistrate Deborah Rogers, who dismissed the charges. The teenagers claimed they were unaware they were breaking any laws and were simply engaging in conversation. The chief magistrate called it entrapment as the teenagers were not aware of that law. She also advised them to file a complaint with the Professional Standards Branch. On Wednesday, the Commissioner of Police, Dr. Anthony Richard Rosado, defended the actions of the police.
Well, first of all, the police department do acknowledge and recognize the decision of the court. And we do affirm our commitment to upholding the rule of law. But I must say that my police officers, they were acting in good faith, in accordance with the state of emergency regulation. The gathering that was happening when those individuals were detained was in an era of high risk, and the police intervention at the time was based on credible information to protect those individuals. Hence the reason I believe that they acted in good faith. But moving forward, it does require that we look at alternative measures to be able to guide those at-risk youth from being harmed.
I got to follow up with that. You're saying protection, so the police receive information that these persons may have been targets or some
The state of emergency regulation allow us to, there are certain regulations that is put in place for public safety. And whenever those regulations are violated, all the police were doing, they were just basically in good faith enforcing the regulation. But like I said, in moving forward, it does require that we look at alternative measures in order for us to be able to deal with at-risk.
Dr. Rosado also spoke on the effectiveness of the SOE regulations, as there still have been cases of criminal activity since the implementation.
The thing is, the regulation, the state of emergency regulation, does allow us to restrict certain gang elements. So we have the regulation to issue an order restricting their movement. However, criminals will take every opportunity to strike at their rivalry. And in the case in Bemopan, I think it's just the opportunity to present itself, and those individuals act. I also wanted to add that in terms of the gathering that I mentioned and what my staff officer mentioned, the gathering is prohibited in public places, like what Ms. Smith mentioned, in public places. So once they are not gathering in public places, it's not an offense under the state of emergency regulation.
Under the current state of emergency, there is a curfew in effect for unaccompanied minors. The curfew is in effect from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. and will be enforced in the areas under the SOE regulations. Inspector Stacy Smith spoke more on the curfew.
The curfew that is implemented in the state of emergency is only in relation to minors. So it's not applicable to persons who are adults, and it's only in relation to minors who are unaccompanied. Though we are under a period of a state of emergency, it is always important that we know that whatever limits we put on persons' constitutional rights is only to the extent that is necessary. If it is not deemed necessary, it will not be something that is recommended and thereafter implemented. So there is no curfew, because whilst it is that we deem that the situation has reached a critical level, we do believe that the efforts that we can undertake can be realized, or goals can be realized within the ambits of those provisions that are provided for in the SOE.
Inspector Smith advised that considering the state of affairs, even in areas not under the SOE, parents should still be concerned about their children's whereabouts and accompany them at night.
Certainly, even outside of the SOE, I would think it's in every parent's interest to ensure that whenever it is that their minors are out on the street, they are accompanied by a very responsible adult. So even if a SOE was not in place, it is expected that adults will be accompanying those minors, because as was stated, we are under a state of emergency. There are incidents. We have seen the incident that prompted the initial one with the football incident, was one such event that brought about activities that necessitated this state of emergencies. So it's very important for people to be decisive. We're not trying to cause alarm, but just be decisive in your move. And if it is that you're having your minors out on the street, it's important to accompany them.
After the break, teen drowns in Bay Vista, Toledo. Stay tuned.
Hi there. Are you on your phone?
8287-6.
A family in northern Toledo is mourning as their 14-year-old daughter, Eliza Pop, tragically drowned in a river near her home. According to her father, Alfredo Pop, Eliza was swimming in the Swayze River on Wednesday, which is near their home in Bay Vista. The father said the river is not known to be deep and his daughter was in the shallow part near the river bank, but Eliza unknowingly swam towards a deep pit, which was excavated. Pop is now warning Bay Vista residents of such excavations in the river and calling on the government to investigate who dug the pits at the river's bottom. The Association of Beneficiaries and Retired Public Officers, ABRPO, on Wednesday held protests across the country. President of the ABRPO, Hubert Enriquez, said the group is unhappy after they have yet to receive a favorable response from the government. The group is requesting that the Public Sector Workers' Trust be terminated. Enriquez explained why he thinks there has been a delay.
We've decided on a different format this year, and we think it's best for persons to manifest discuss in the various district towns as what's going to happen. So you will see that in PG there's going to be a similar kind of demonstration, hopefully with more persons. Dangriga, same thing. Sainaso, Benuapan, countrywide, except Orange Rock, and and I believe some persons from there will be going to Corozal. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're protesting this whole matter of this trust. We have been promised for many, many years it's going to be terminated, and for some reason or the other, government is actually slow walking the whole process. And so we feel that by coming out here, it's going to show them that in fact we are serious about having this trust dissolved, so that people can be compensated for what has been owed to them for over 30 years.
What do you believe is the hold-up from the government side?
I strongly believe that that first of all that they want to do it, but that they are hindered by I believe the unions. They don't want to, in my mind, they don't want to upset the unions. We know that there have been discussions on other matters, like for instance, this matter of the pension reform, where public officers are not going to be asked to pay a contribution towards the pension. And what we know is that there have been threats by the union that in fact if the government goes through and carries out the trust termination, that they are going to withdraw from those discussions. And so that's one of the reasons why. But I think that there's a general lack of interest, even though the Prime Minister says certain things, that they have actually done certain things, like for instance, they have actually named a protector for the trust, which is a good thing in our opinion, but nothing has happened since then. And so we are very, very concerned, and we feel that there has to be more interest in this matter because it's really a good cause that we're fighting for. And people are, as you know, beneficiaries are passing away every day, no? So we want this matter to be resolved as urgently as possible.
In Belize City, the interim Vice President Lisbeth Castillo said the membership is now demanding action.
Dissolve this trust. Dissolve this trust now.
We have been meeting with them. We have had a few meetings with them, and we expect them to call us to the table and to make meaningful decisions and to take meaningful action so that this trust can come to an end and we can get our monies finally after 30 years of waiting. That is what we expect from them. Because we've been meeting and we've just been talking and we've heard promises, but we want some really meaningful action now on the government's part.
In more police news, since the implementation of the SOE, the police have been able to seize a number of firearms and drugs. On Wednesday, the police shared details on what they have seized so far. The Commissioner of Police, Dr. Anthony Richard Rosado, said the firearms will be inspected and he hopes that this can lead to arrests by the end of the SOE.
In respect to the SOE, 16 firearms were seized. The breakdown is as follows. We seized 10 9mm pistols, 1.25 pistol, 1.38 revolver, 2 shotguns, and 2.23 rifles. In respect to ammunition, we seized 15 40 caliber rounds of ammunition and 97 9mm ammunition. With respect to cannabis, 3,326 grams of cannabis was seized and 997 grams of cocaine was seized with respect to this SOE.
The firearms were seized. Now these firearms will be packaged and forwarded to the National Forensic Lab for analysis to determine if it is connected to any other previous crime. Based on that, then the investigation will continue.
So we might see charges brought against persons who may have handed up these weapons or led the police to where these weapons may have been hidden.
There is a strong possibility that charges will be laid against certain individuals.
And will the forensic science service also look into maybe ballistics to see if any of these weapons?
Yes, that's what I mentioned, that the analysis will be done by the forensic lab to determine if it is connected to any other violent crime that had occurred within the country of Belize.
Any timeline for that?
Normally, the forensic lab the analysis would take anywhere between 2 weeks to a month. But upon the discontinuation of the state of emergency, we are hopeful that we will have several arrests.
There has been some criticism when it comes to the size and design of the starter homes that have been made available through the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing. Many say that the houses are too small for a family. However, Minister Honorable Julius Espat today told the media that they are meant as starter homes. He added that the private sector accommodates those who would want to build a larger home.
Not the Ministry of Infrastructure Development. Our mandate, and still the mandate is and will continue to be as long as I am there, is only to deal with the starter homes and the low income. The middle income, government and cabinet have agreed that that will be financed through the National Bank and DFC, where you can go in and show them that you are capable of making back the mortgage payments, and then that at reasonable rates. And so that will be done by the private sector. Because we know the ministry is not here to compete with the private sector. We're just fulfilling a void that nobody wants to deal with. And so that is our mandate as a ministry, but it is our commitment as a government to help the people that can't help themselves. So we won't compete with the private sector, and we won't get into 2-bedrooms and 3-bedroom houses.
But there is a project in the pipeline for the middle class.
It's already in the pipeline. If you can go right now to the National Bank and to DFC, they have programs that will assist you. What the ministry does is that if somebody wants a 2 or a 3-bedroom house, then we have plans available that are already made, cost maybe $100 or $200 with approval from the Central Building Authority, and with that you could build your home. If you don't like those houses, then you can go to a draftsman or a professional to do the plans for you. That's what the private sector is all about. You have options.
After the break, Hypertension Day observed in Corozal. Stay with us.
Smart is enhancing your mobile experience to keep you connected.
The Belize City Thunderbolts will be the hometown team competing in the Belize Premier Basketball League (BPBL). Their first test will come this Friday as the team will make their home debut versus the EZ Investments Griga Dream Ballers. Greg McGill, the co-owner and CEO of the Thunderbolts, spoke on the upcoming season and what city fans can expect.
We came up with the idea with Thunderbolts because, you know, one of our things in Belize is thunder, you know, and we feel that whenever you hear that thunder, it's roaring. So it's like a roaring situation whenever we go into any ball field. You know, it's been civic or we go to another district to play ball. The team we put together is well-rounded. We try to cover all areas of the team in terms of point guard, shooting guard, power forward, small forward, and our centers. And what we see so far, the time is very limited, but the training and workout that our coach, Darren Bovell, is putting off right now is tremendous. As just a short period of time, the team looks really well.
And so in terms of the arena experience, what can fans expect?
Oh, greatness. This is basically an excited time, just like last year, even better than last year, you know, coming into this new league, the Belize Premier Basketball League, who is running the league for this tournament, and what they're doing a fantastic, a wonderful job in making sure that all teams are properly prepared and being covered. Well, tomorrow night is the opening night for the team, and we're going up against Easy Dream Baller from Dan Griga. All the teams will be present for the opening night ceremony. At the Civic, we have team from PG, we have team from Griga itself that I mentioned, we have from Belmopan, we have from Cayo, we have from San Pedro, and Corozal is back in for many years, and ourselves from B. So it's 7 teams, only Warren Rock who hasn't produced a team, and it's going to be a lot of excitement. You know, we'll be having halftime shows, we're having giveaway, and that sort of thing. Tickets will be on sale also tomorrow from 1 o'clock, and the gate will open at 6. The opening ceremony starts at 8 o'clock, where the league will take over that opening ceremony from 8 until about 8:45, 9, and then the tip-off starts at 9 o'clock between the Thunderbolts and Griga.
Today is being observed as World Hypertension Day, and this week is also being observed as World Salt Awareness Week. Ministry of Health and Wellness personnel at the Corozal Community Hospital today held a health fair in Caledonia, Corozal, to spread awareness of the dangers of hypertension, which is also known as high blood pressure. Visitors were also told of the importance of eating a diet low in sodium or salt. The MMR vaccine for measles was also available as that vaccine campaign continues across the country. Health educator at the Corozal Community Hospital, Emir Castaneda, explained more.
We are in this beautiful village of Caledonia Village at the moment here in Corozal, and we are commemorating World Hypertension Day in line with Salt Awareness Week 2025. What we're having here is many different booths here. We are providing screening to hypertensive patients to come and do their pressure checks. Also for diabetes, we're doing glucose checks at the moment. So if you haven't eaten anything, it will be better to come now and do your glucose tests. Apart from that, we're doing our NHI registration for the citizens here who haven't registered to NHI. They can also do their NHI registrations. We have our dental health unit here, you know, with the dentist, so they can come and do their checkups here on their oral health. We also have vector control for malaria, so you can come and do your malaria check-up and rapid test here. We also have the nurses, the maternal and child health nurses here for providing the MMR vaccine for measles. So we're doing everything that we're doing here is integrated, and an integrated approach for preventative measures.
And Friday is officially Teachers' Day. Throughout this week, many teachers are being honored by their students through small gifts, tokens, snacks, and words of appreciation. We spoke to two impactful people in the community who credit a lot of their successes to teachers. First, we hear from Zinc Fence sister Katie Numi Usher, who spoke of the impact teachers have had on her life.
Do you have a memory of a teacher that it has impacted you?
Yes. So the teachers that have impacted me first and foremost, my now deceased grandmother, Catherine Perez Martinez. She actually helped me to learn to read because I am a dyslexic. So reading is always a challenge because dyslexia is just the brain interpreting lexicons or words differently. So she worked with me, she didn't make me feel like anything was impossible as far as reading. So I'm really grateful to her. And definitely I would say, and I don't want to make mistake with the name, but I probably should say Mrs. Neal, who really helped me with math, because that's one of my other challenges. But really, I must say that I love all of my teachers from primary school, preschool. Hi, Miss Casey, Mrs. Casey from Bonpan preschool, because my teachers have really molded me into the person that I am. My love for reading comes from my teachers. My minimal understanding of math comes from my teachers, and definitely my love for history and wanting to do research and to learn. All of that is from all the teachers I've had. Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers everywhere, but especially the Belizean teachers.
Next, we hear from Miss Universe Belize 2024, Halima Hoy, who thanked teachers for the huge role they play in the lives of their students.
Teachers are the leaders in our community. They play a huge role in our lives. We see them a lot, as much as our parents, and in some cases even more. So thank you all for all the hard work that you do. Thank you all for selflessly giving your time to students, especially those who need it the most. We really appreciate you, and your hard work does not go unnoticed.
And with that, we have come to the end of our newscast. The repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again Friday at midday. Join us again Friday at 6 p.m. for another news broadcast. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.